15.
Do you know what kind of job you really want? Are you determined to get it? Do you know how? Most people, like Sandy Dean, start by sending out resumes.
And I found that just sending off the resume wasn't doing the trick. You never got a call back. You never even got a letter back. And so for a lot of the places I was calling them, and I found that when you'd call, a lot of them would give you an interview.
The interview Sandy really wanted was at the Sci-Fi Channel in New York City. He knew he had the desire and the skill to work there. So he did some networking by calling the personal director.
He's the one who told me, well, Sandy, basically since you're in Michigan, you don't have a chance at all. Your resume is being tucked to the bottom of the pile, and we have about 2,000 of them here. And I said, well, really? I said, I don't have a chance at all. And so I said, well, what if I put together a nice demo tape and I sent it over there? And he said, well, that might help your chances a little.
Showing his entrepreneurial skills and initiative, Sandy wrote and edited a custom promotional tape for the channel. Then, he did more networking by calling the promotions manager on a regular basis.
Okay, thanks.
He was never obnoxious, but he was persistent. We thought he was probably a complete nutcase. The next thing I know, I get a phone call from him. He's moved to New York with no assurance of a job here. And I had to explain to him, you know, we've made no promises to you. I hope you didn't just pick up and move because of this. He said, yeah, I did.
And there was a point where I was parking cars that I was like, you know, I don't know if I should have done this. But finally, you know, Ken said, why don't you come in for an interview?
He presented himself in a very professional manner. One thing that he made very clear was his interest in the genre, which was very important to me. An analogy that I make in terms of hiring people for the Sci-Fi Channel is that a sports network wouldn't hire people who weren't complete sports nuts. He also sent some science fiction stories that he had written. In addition to the tape and the stories, he made every effort to prove that he was interested.
I mean, if you really want the job, it's going to come through in how you speak and how you act and everything. For instance, when Ken talked to me, he told me, well, they didn't have a PA yet, and that the PA that was going to come in was going to have to be organized and get everything together and do that kind of stuff. So I knew right off the bat I should definitely stress that I was organized and I wanted to be there bad, and I was willing to do anything. I told him, you know, I'm willing to do anything. I'll run and get coffee, I run tapes all over the city, you know, things like that.
So we interviewed him, and initially we hired him freelance because I figured if he is a complete nut, we can get rid of him easily. And things have turned out great. Sandy's one of our best employees. He's since moved up to associate producer, and I'm happy that he was as persistent as he was.
It's amazing. It's worked. It's met my dreams. All expectations, and probably even